So recently there's been a lot of brouhaha about some Christian leaders and them having fake degrees. Some say there are people who've attained 4 degrees, including PhD, within 4 months and things like that. Well, I'm speaking to this issue because number one, it speaks to issues of identity. Number two, it speaks to issues of purpose. And number three, it leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to authentic leadership. Why do I say it's first an issue with identity? Because we need not to take identity in what we wear, in what we drive, in how many degrees we have. Because guess what? You can have more degrees than a thermometer, as someone said, and still not accomplish your God-given purpose. There are some without degrees at all, and guess what? Have made much more of an impact in the world, than some with multiple degrees. So it is not. We need to make sure that our identity is found, in the right place. And not in titles, and anything that man can give you, man can take away. All right, so let's not root our identity in those things. And it's not just a recent thing. This has always been with us. And I remember a friend of mine who organized a program, and the MC introduced a pastor to speak and introduced him as Mr. This pastor got up and was very upset and said, "No, I am not." I took the mic and said, "I am Pastor so and so." And then later he came back and said, "Actually, I am Reverend." Wow, what a shock. and what a shame, especially coming from a Christian leader. But we need to be careful. I can tell you that as a medical doctor myself, many times when people refer to me as Mr., or write to me and say Mr., something in me goes, "Oh, do you know who you're talking to?" Or, I worked hard for the title. There's something in us. There's this ego thing in us. There's this persona that can be created, but that is not your authentic self. All right. I have a mentor who likes to say, you can have more. No, he likes to say the thing about titles is if you're good, you don't need them. And if you're not, they won't help you. All right. So this is a matter of identity. We've got to get our identity right. But I also said it's a matter of purpose, because you see, your purpose determines the tools and the vehicles that you're going to use. Not everyone needs a degree to get to where they need to go to, So my grandfather became an ethnomusicologist, became a professor, an emeritus professor, had several honorary doctorate degrees, but he never did a PhD himself. So you can get to where you need to get to. What determines the tools you need is where you're going, the vehicles you need. So degrees are vehicles to where you're going. Ask yourself, do I need this vehicle to get to where I need to go to? All right. So it's about dreams, not diplomas and degrees. And the last thing I said was that this speaks to the core of authenticity. Many years ago, I was taught, and I'm glad I learned that early, that as leaders, as authentic leaders, we should have first nothing to prove. In other words, we should be people of humility. Secondly, have nothing to hide. In other words, we should be people of integrity. And finally, have nothing to lose. Not projecting self-worth or an image. We should be people of simplicity. If we go this route, we will be authentic leaders. We will accomplish a God-given purpose, and we will have done all of that flowing from a place of strong and firm identity. If you noticed, being a people of humility, integrity, and simplicity spells His. And I want to speak particularly to those who call themselves by the name of the Lord. We are to be His people. In 2010 in Cape Town, at the third Lausanne Congress on World Evangelization, that's one of the things we're encouraged to be His people, a people of humility, which basically means nothing to prove, a people of integrity, nothing to hide, a people of simplicity. Especially as Christian leaders, our power base should come from our spiritual power, which comes from a place of union with God. a place of identity in God and power in God. Our power base should come from the spiritual plane, not from personality or position. I hope this helps us to settle this issue once and for all. Be a person of humility, integrity, simplicity. Nothing to prove, nothing to hide, nothing to lose. The world is in dire need of authentic leaders. Be one.